The day I realized that I was free from tinnitus, do me a favor and make sure to stay till the end because everything in this video I'm talking about is going to be very applicable to you recovering from tinnitus. It happened so gradually that I there's not really like a specific day I can point to that I wrote it down on a calendar. It was more like when I realized I had stopped checking if I was habituated, or I stopped asking if I was habituated. There was like a string of months, many months that went on where I was just so caught up in life. I had so much stuff going on. I was worried about other things that I think I paused for a second and was like, wow, I'm out living my life and I haven't even thought about the ringing. I guess this is what habituation is. I guess I'm recovered, you know? And so even like if I sit here now, maybe like this is the first time that I fully am taking a moment and appreciating my recovery. And I would say that maybe this is the first time because, you know, I'm out and I think about I've traveled, I've done all this stuff, I'm going here, I'm making videos, I'm meeting new friends, I have a whole list of things I have to do that nothing is about tinnitus unless I'm doing a coaching call. And because of that, I don't have any time to think about it. But when I do think about it, I don't have the negative emotional feeling that I had as before where, you know, I would think about it and, oh, I'd hear it and it was just this devastating thing that I couldn't seem to get past. And now I talk to people all day about it. I can make videos about it. And then instantly when it's time for me to go eat dinner or do something else, my mind is just away from the tinnitus and it's engaged elsewhere. But even when I'm talking about it, I don't hear it. Even when I coach people, I don't hear it. I heard it last night for like 15 minutes. I was doing something and I think I was riding my motorbike and it was pretty loud. And so, you know, I came back and I was like sitting on the couch and I heard it or something. But you know, I was just like, I didn't even like I heard it, but I didn't even have an emotional reaction. My emotional reaction was like nothing, like the same emotional reaction I have when I like look at a wall or something. So it was just a very neutral response. It honestly feels emotionally as if you've never had it. That's the best place. The best thing I could tell you is I've habituated to a point to where it's like I never even have it. I can help you with that. Hit the link in the description and we can really get you to a place where you're doing the right things and not doing the wrong things to get you habituated. It takes time. It's not instant. For me, it was a journey. You know, it was many months into many years to get to this point where I'm, you know, living my life to the fullest, where I'm traveling and doing things like that. But I think I could have started living sooner. The thing is that when you habituate, you're not going to realize probably. You might move on fully. You might not even associate with people that you talked to before. A lot of my clients, they move on and we don't really talk again. Some of my clients, we still talk, but a lot of people like to put that chapter behind them. And you probably, if you recover, you may never watch videos again about it. You probably won't even look at forums and you'll just completely move on and live your life again. And it'll be like a distant memory, like something that never even happened. You know, you ever got like a cut on your finger and at the time it's so traumatic, it hurts, it's bleeding. But then once it's sewed up and a couple years down the road, it just scars over. And it's like, I mean, you could look at it and you'd be like, oh yeah, that's the time I got cut. And that's it. 3 seconds later, your brain's on to something else. You know, and I have a scar on my finger, and that's exactly how I think and feel about it. And that's how tinnitus is. So I want you to think about, that's what it's like when you're going to be recovered, is it's going to be like it never happened. It's going to be like it never happened. It's a non-issue. You might think about it. You might even hear it. You might notice it. You might hear the tinnitus, just like you see the scar, but it doesn't have the same traumatic effect that it did when you first got that cut. And that's the best way to put it, is habituation to me is just as good as a cure. I think in a lot of ways, maybe it's even better than a cure because the amount of emotional intelligence, the amount of emotional resilience and mental resilience that you have to adapt in order to habituate. A lot of times this leaves people with skills, learning to overcome things that are really difficult. Then these skills stay with them the rest of their lives. And really, when you think about it, that's what builds character. Building character is what happens to you when you don't want it to happen, right? The bad things that happen to you in life. And then you go on to turn that into something beautiful. That's the whole entire story of a hero. So think about this. You can be the hero in your own story. You don't need to wait for a hero. You can be the hero. You can be the person that overcomes something very challenging, and you can take that story, let it build you into a better person, and go out and then help people. Go out and then build a legacy. Go out and build an incredible life. Go out and travel. Let this be a catalyst of something that puts you on your path, your destiny. Think about it. You could be like, maybe this is a wake-up call. Maybe I need to take my health more serious. Maybe I need to start traveling. Like maybe this is my health scare that can really get me on the path to living my life. Because that's exactly what it was for me. And that's what it is for a lot of people that I work with is I'm like, okay, you played your music a little loud. Maybe you neglected your hearing and you got tinnitus. Okay, what are we going to do now? Let's start protecting our hearing. Let's start taking our health seriously. Let's start getting our life and optimizing our life to a place that really really resonates with our soul deep down. A lot of people, maybe the tinnitus was brought on by a lot of stress from a job they hated. For me, it was an ear infection, but there was a lot of emotional things. I was neglecting myself in a lot of emotional areas. I think really, really were just sitting in my subconscious. And when the tinnitus happened, it was all of this came to the surface of I felt like I was stuck in a life that didn't resonate with my soul. And that, I believe, is what caused the freak out for me. So it was a lot of factors. I think I think a lot of people are spiritually drained, they're emotionally drained, they're mentally drained, and yes, they're physically drained. So when something like tinnitus comes along and they've been feeling trapped in a job they hate, or trapped in a life they hate, or trapped in a relationship they hate, tinnitus just reflects the fact it's like, oh, I'm trapped in this ringing. Yeah, but you've been trapped for years in situations that you never even broke out of. Okay, so it can be honestly a mirror to shine to people, to show them just how fake their life really is, just how unauthentic their life really is. And I think that that's the deeper issue with a lot of tinnitus sufferers, is that they've been neglecting themselves physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So let this be a wake up call. And if you do that, and if you take the path towards healing yourself, not just from the tinnitus, but healing yourself from all of the things that you've been neglecting in your life, you're gonna find that you don't need silence. You just need to start being true to your soul, be true to yourself in the steps. When you practice that with habituation and with overall just increasing the health of your life, the health of your mind, the health of your soul, you find that when all this comes in line, you find, hey, I don't even really notice the ringing anymore. And that's what it really comes down to. What I think that tinnitus really is just a barometer for you. Your entire being is out of tune. When a guitar is out of tune, we don't throw the guitar away. No. We get a tuner and we tune the guitar. There's nothing wrong with the guitar. There's nothing wrong with you. You're an out of tune guitar. And I have to tune myself. How do I tune myself? How do you tune a guitar? Well, you have to humidity. You got to make sure the strings are good. You got to make sure the frets aren't messed up. You got to make sure the neck is aligned. There's a lot of things that can make a guitar go chronically out of tune. And we have to optimize the entire guitar. And that's what I talk about on my channel. And that's what I help people in my coaching, is how do we optimize you? How do we get you back in tune? Because when you're in tune and you're playing that guitar and it's sounding beautiful, the tinnitus is just but a distant memory. So I don't want you to think of you're broken or you have this condition that you're never going to recover from. You're just an out of tune guitar. We need to get the tuner out. If you want to get the tuner out, hit the link in the description. Make sure to smash the subscribe button. Share this video with a friend. I love reading the comments. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. Peace.